All right.
Pop quiz?
I guess I'm going to let you say it. This week is right.
Pop quiz?
Don't yuck my yum.
Ooh.
Is that your favorite?
Don't yuck your yum? What about my yum?
Your yum can't be yucked either. No yum yucking.
No yum yucking.
That's how we roll.
Got
How
it.
about you? You got one for me?
Have fun.
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like that one is very much yours.
It's all of ours. I like to share my guideposts with you. Let's see. Bring it up the rear. Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Yeah. There's no one I like more than you. So I'm just be you, baby.
Be you. There's no one you like more?
Not
a single person?
Not a single person.
Does that make me your favorite?
Of course, you're my best friend.
I'm just checking.
Was that a trick question?
I don't know. I was genuinely just checking. I needed clarity.
That's how we roll, dog. All right. Let me ask you a bonus question.
Oh no, you can't pop quiz me.
This is a standard quiz.
It's
It's an easy one. I'll throw you a curveball. Oh, well, I'm sorry.
You can't tell me that it's easy and then offer the curveball.
I messed up my balls.
Those two don't go together.
I screwed up my balls. Let me throw you a softball is what I meant to say.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for letting me correct myself. Let me throw you the softball pitch. Here's the wind-up. You ready to get dank?
Welcome to the DANK Pod. Join us on our chaotic adventure of what it means to be Disney adults. Like, follow, comment, and share wherever you listen. Send any questions or feedback to us at thedankpod@gmail.com. This week, we're talking about being dankish. Let's get dankish.
But does it count as dank tonight?
Well, it's dank-ish.
Dank-ish?
Do we want to do? Let's talk about what we're missing here. Actually,
Oh yeah.
we have our counterparts, our buds, Natalie and January Rain are all out on vacation. They'll be out for what? Where are they going to be? They're going to be gone for like four episodes?
4-ish.
Oh, so we're gonna be
filling in the gaps. We're gonna do our best.
Yeah, we're gonna be dank-ish.
Well, tonight we're gonna be dank-ish.
Dank-ish.
Ish.
Yeah. What are we gonna talk about on dank-ish tonight?
So tonight we thought
or this morning. Could be this morning.
It could be. It depends on when you're here.
Yeah,
Hi.
but, yeah.
So this episode, we thought, since it was just us, that we would be a little dank-ish and talk about our park experience when we actually go with a kid. We are not parents of our own kids, right? Like we don't have a child together.
We don't have. Yeah. I mean, I have a grown one.
Right. You have a grown one, an adult-ish one.
Got it across the finish line. If you're out there and you need parenting advice, reach out. I'm happy to offer any advice that you may have, as my kid made it across the finish line alive. Got 10 fingers, 9 toes.
9 toes?
That's not standard?
Anyway, the point I was trying to make is that we don't have a child together and we don't have a child in our home unless we borrow one. And so
legally borrow.
legally
We don't just borrow them from strangers. We're like, hey, whose kid is this? At child swap.
As aunties and uncles, we like to
I'm a funkle.
We like to borrow our niece or nephew on occasion, or nieces, although we haven't had more than one at a time, and take them to the parks because we enjoy spending time with them. And we thought that since it was just the two of us for a little while, we would talk about that experience of being dank-ish. Because we are dank all the time, but occasionally we're dank-ish.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? You want to start with what it's like to drive to the parks with a child?
Gosh, yeah, I guess we should start at the top, right?
Yeah, begin at the very beginning.
Begin at the very beginning. So I do think that it's important to acknowledge the differences in the ages in which we are discussing our dank-ish adventures. So we have a now 2-year-old nephew and a now 4-year-old niece. Both of them are giant in size and in their feelings. The 2-year-old nephew, surprisingly, but not in a bad way, has been a delight on the drive, right? Like he just chills. So the 2-year-old enjoys the peace and quiet and does not require a lot of interaction or interruption. And he's very good in the car.
He's peaceful.
He is peaceful.
He's an easy traveler.
He is.
He's a cool rider.
Which is a delightful surprise.
He's a cool rider.
Don't get sued.
Cool enough, it'll burn you through and
Don't get
through.
sued.
What? I can't stop. Once you start, like, who is that lady? Catwoman? Who's Michelle Pfeiffer? Once you get a little Michelle Pfeiffer symmetry in your head, you got to roll with it. Anyway, yeah, he's cool. He's just like, actually, all right. So let me interject. he reminds you why you don't want kids right away, immediately. The moment he gets in the car, he's a screamer. Misses his mom. Boom, right away. He knows that she's donating his time to us, and he's going to freak out for a little bit. But like 30 seconds, get around the corner, and he's back on track.
Yeah, he while he is a delight, he's not mine. Like I'm not his favorite person.
I am.
Right. You're definitely one of his favorite people. This is a foreign feeling to me, so I'm working through it. So yeah, when he is initially put into the car, there's a little bit of a freak out, but by the time we turn the corner, you're right. He's just fine. And then he's super quiet and chill for the rest of the ride. And usually the day. The 4-year-old, however, while she is a pleasure to get into the car, tends to get a little bit more anxious about halfway through this, just shy of a 2-hour drive for us.
Once she's done kicking me in the back of the seat.
Oh yeah.
That's her favorite game. Golani.
Mm-hmm.
What are my feet doing? They're kicking me. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. She likes to annoy you.
Mm-hmm.
She likes to get a rise out of you.
Yeah, that's what it is. She just likes to push my buttons.
Right.
So, like, they're not the worst car rides though. It's not like we're on the road and they're like screaming and crying the whole way up. We're usually like singing songs.
Yeah, she's super cute because she'll ask for princess songs, right?
Yeah, she doesn't.
So it's just like Disney radio.
Yeah, it's just Disney radio. You got to tell her which princess it is.
Right.
It's all good.
No, she's funny that way, but she can't, and I think she does very well for her age in general. I just think she needs a little bit more distraction because she's not one to just do nothing, right, and enjoy the peace and quiet. That's not who she is as a human.
Maybe.
What are you talking about? When is she ever?
A lot. Anyway. So when we get to let's talk about a resort now, because like we gotta roll up there, and you roll up to the resort. What are there better resorts for kids? Like I gotta be honest. Last time we went up and we stayed at where did we stay? The Port Authority. Where did we stay?
Oh jeez. The French Quarter. Port Orleans.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a super fun, kid-friendly resort for us.
So to be fair, when we booked that, it was not with that in mind. It's just
supposed to be us.
It was supposed to be just us. Our first mod resort together.
Oh. Spearfingers, I love you, best friend.
No, I love you too. But we had an opportunity to take the 4-year-old, and instead of doing multiple weekends in the blistering hot summer, we combined the trip, and she was super stoked to have a weekend with us, a sleepover with us, and so we just kind of took advantage of the opportunity that we had already put in place for ourselves and made it a family trip. So yeah, and again, to be fair, we didn't explore the resort a lot. We didn't go to the pool. We didn't go for walks. There's like a whole boat situation that's on property. So yeah, I do think there are more kid-friendly resorts. We just didn't book this particular weekend with a kid in mind.
Yeah. Also, we didn't explore the resort the same way that we normally would have. Although the dining was good. I thought the dining was easier at the mods than it was at the value.
I think it was the same for me, mostly because I did all the walking and the ordering
and the standing in line. That's cool. I appreciate that. Let me just stop right there and say I want to say thank you.
I appreciate your perspective, but I think it was exactly the same. You just didn't stand in line this time. You stood in line last time.
True.
Yeah. No, I know. No, so I think it was the same, but I think it was polite, and if anything, I think All Stars had more seating actually.
Agreed.
And to be fair, those are the references we have, right? We've stayed at a couple of All Stars and we've stayed at Port Orleans French Quarter. So I thought the food was just as good, but we to your point, we didn't explore the resort at Port Orleans the same way that we did at All Stars previously. So agreed, it was a polite resort, and I think for our needs it was fine. Would I go back with a kid? Definitely not. Although I do think the room was very comfortable and it was updated per my research. And, it wasn't a terrible walk from the car to the room, or even from the main entrance, right? The lobby and the food area to the room.
Yeah, I think there are probably smaller, more intimate resorts. Also, like it seemed like it was more shade, less thematic, but a little prettier to look at from an adult perspective.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, that was our original intention when we booked it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The room was themed better, too.
It was an updated room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the kid didn't care.
No, I mean, I think she was initially delighted with what she saw. But yeah, I think if we'd stayed at an All-Star, she would have been fully entertained.
What did she call it?
I don't know. What did she call
Our
it?
Disney house.
Oh, yeah. Can we go back to our Disney house?
Yeah, she was tired at the park. She's not built to picket. She's not like a marathon park goer. So when she got tired, she just said, "Come on, honey, can we go back to our Disney house?"
That was probably my favorite part, honestly. Yeah, no. So that was only her second sleepover at Disney. So she doesn't have a lot of exposure. Neither of them have a lot of exposure to travel and hotels and resorts. And so when we tried to explain it to her, hey, do you know what a resort is? And she said no. And so we said, this is where you stay when you come to visit Disney World, when you come to visit Mickey Mouse. And so it's a special place. It's not just like a normal place to sleep over and visit. And somehow in her brain that had morphed to Disney House. And to be fair too, I think this was her first time recognizing it as Disney World. Like usually it's the place where the castle is or the place to go see Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I think she's starting to put two and two together. Like, hey, when we get in the car, we're going for a while. I'm probably going to see some cool stuff, and I'm probably going to get whatever I point at.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little jealous of her childhood. I think we need to make it rougher on her.
Rougher.
Yeah, we need
Could
to.
you imagine? She had to walk, Uncle Nani.
Not for long. Not for long.
She did walk quite a bit that day.
I don't think so. I think
to normal standards with you.
Yeah. So okay. So, dear listener, I will fill you in. I've spent this child's entire life just carrying her around, and I'm not mad at that. I love the attention that she gives me. So, and she's more thoughtful with her hugs for me than I think with other people. A lot of times, you know how kids can fake it or people can fake it.
How kids can fake it or people can, like a hug?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, they just paint like they screw a smile. Like have you ever seen somebody screw a smile on their face?
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Cool. You ever watch that kid hug somebody when she's not into it and she's screwed the smile on her face? I'll point it out. We need a code word for it. What code word should we use for that? Toolbox?
Sure.
It's a toolbox hug?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next time I see a toolbox hug, that's your cue to understand that she has screwed that smile on her face. She's installed it just for that hug, and it's going to last a fraction of a second, and it comes right off. She does not do that with me. She gets close, she leans in, drops her head on my shoulder, and she's like an extension. She's she's like a wart.
Yeah. No, that's terrible.
That's terrible?
That's
not like don't warts
No,
grow
she's
from
an
you?
authentic hugger.
She's like a mushroom.
She's an authentic hugger.
Not always. Sometimes she screws that smile on. But she hugs me authentically.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, and I adore that stuff. Like, give me that all day long. And the issue here is that she's sizable, right? So she's a giant. She's a tall bird. Mm-hmm. And I had to, the second we got out of the car, we got to the resort, get her out of the car, and she's Uncle Nani to take me out of the car. And I said, okay, cool. And so put her feet on the ground. She says, Uncle Nani, did you bring your carrier? I said, yes, I did. She said, okay, good, get it.
Well, hold on, pause. Let's explain what the carrier is.
Oh, okay. So the carrier, if you haven't seen, how would I explain it?
It's like a sling or almost like a hammock, like for your shoulder for an adult to wear to hold a not small child. So this is something that you bought earlier this year because we now have a 2 and 4-year-old that love to be carried by you, very specifically by you. And so when you introduced this option, because they are so much bigger than they were just 6 months ago.
Well,
sorry, I hit the mic.
They've always been carried by me, whether it was.
That's what I'm saying. But now there's extra weight because, they are longer. They're tall birds, like you said.
The younger one, I used the baby Bjorn for him.
Not anymore.
No, but that's what I used to use for him.
Yeah.
And now it's now because they're both kind of over that 25-pound weight limit for that.
Right.
I had to find a new solution.
Right. So I say we, but it was you. You introduced this to her on a Disney trip not too long ago, and she became obsessed with it. She seemed to recognize that it allowed you to carry her for longer spans, and she would be able to communicate when she wanted to go up and when she wanted to go down. And it just gave you a little bit more relief on your body and on your back to be able to carry this giant kid. Not that she's overweight or anything, because that's not the truth.
She's just tall.
She's tall and lanky for sure.
How much does she weigh? Like 45 pounds?
No. No.
What does she weigh? Am I a bad judge of weight?
Yeah. No, so she's probably way tall. I think she's in the 90th percentile for height. Like maybe 95th percentile for height. But I think she's on the lower end for weight, honestly. Maybe in the 70th percentile. Like, all in together, she's above average because of her height. But I don't think she's even at 40.
Oh, interesting.
But maybe that's gone up. I know she had a growth spurt recently.
But
Are you trying to look up the stats? I
was trying to look up the carrier so I can just tell people what.
Yeah, she's definitely on the end of that carrier because of her height, not because of her weight. She's just long limbed.
So I got this one off of Amazon. I'm gonna butcher this. The Shion Baby Sling Carrier. It's SHIAON, and I got the mesh one because we're in Florida and it's super hot. So like I want it to be breathable. And the stats on this. So I'm 6'2", 220 pounds on a good day. This is supposed to carry up to 45 pounds and go. And you can see where it probably doesn't carry up to 45 pounds. But it has a little padded shoulder strap and it's adjustable. When you put it on a bigger person, like me, taller, immediately maxed out the strap. And because I know that I'm not going to be able to get rid of this thing anytime soon, I ended up I had to mod it. So I took 2-inch webbing and reworked the entire carrier so that it's way more sturdy. And for our listeners, if you can imagine what this maybe looks like, I made it so strong that I was able to put Ashley in it and lift her off the ground. So we know we're secure. I can at least hold 140 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. So where were we? We're at the resort. And I think, if you could change anything about our process, what would you change, Ash?
About taking a kid to the resort?
Yeah.
Shorter days.
Shorter days? What do you mean?
So again, to be fair, we did do this one a little bit differently. So I think your vision to have her for this first sleepover at Disney with just us, right, was that she would be able to, we wanted to try and get her to the fireworks, which just unfortunately ended up being too late.
For her. Yeah.
Although I think if maybe we had, gotten her out there later, it might have been a different story. So again, for context, this kid doesn't sleep. Like she doesn't nap, the 4-year-old.
She sleeps well at night.
At night when you wear her out, but she doesn't go to bed at a normal time. Like she was very easily up until 11:30 and might have gone later. I think the issue was we left the resort at 3:30 or 4 o'clock to get to the park at Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so hot, you guys. It was in the 90s for sure, but the feel like was probably pretty close to 100 even that late.
Agreed.
So we went to the park. We did some dilly-dallying. We did the silhouette that day too, remember?
Yeah, so let's pause there for a second. I think it's a great idea to get if you're in the Magic Kingdom, and I know I've said this before, it's such a cheap and easy souvenir to get the silhouettes cut. You go right down Main Street, just past, in between that first break. What's that store at the end called?
Oh, I'm not, the confectionery?
Yeah, so you get past that section, and there's that break, that alleyway. In there, those carts, and that's what I recommend. I don't know the name of it. Do you know the name of it, Ash?
The name of what?
The silhouette stand.
No, I don't know that they have a name though.
They're
do. Always right there. You know what it is too? It's right before the crystal stuff.
It's the same company.
Oh, isn't it then? Like it starts with an A. The Arribas brothers. I'm probably butchering that.
That's you're probably in the, yeah. That's exactly what it is. ARRIBAS.
Yeah, the white girl in me is probably butchering that some, but that's what I remember. Yeah, and you were right about her weight. I'm sorry, she's between like 40, 43 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's right on the cusp of the carrier.
The weight limit.
And then I had that thing maxed out big time on that carrier. Anyway, so yeah, so you can get these silhouettes, and you can buy them online, and it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get it to you. So
that's good to know.
If you're at home and you want one, you can take a good picture, send it in, they'll cut it and send it over to you. But I can tell you this much: when you have somebody on site doing it, it comes out better. So we had her, and we did our other nieces and nephew at the same time, but we did them from photos, and hers came out with
hers came out so impressive. But in her defense, I think this also aided in some of her tiredness because we were there for like 40 or 45 minutes. But it was because we were doing so many at once.
Yeah.
So it's not her fault at all. I think she was very, very patient with us. And so we did the silhouette thing, and it was a lot of just sitting outside, right? And that aided in her boredom and the heat part of it. And then we walked to... It wasn't the carousel. It was the teacups. We did the teacups.
Yes, that was, which was surprising to me because
She did really well.
She's not normally like a spin me around kind of gal.
No, but it also wasn't high, right? She didn't like go up.
Yeah.
So she did very well in the teacups, and then we walked back towards the circus area, right? Because she wanted to see Mickey and Minnie.
She went, yeah, no, well, we had already seen.
We had seen Mickey, but she wanted
Mickey.
to see Minnie,
She
and
wanted
that
to
was
meet
where
Minnie,
we found her.
Yeah.
So
and Daisy.
that was a long wait too. Although thankfully it was in some air conditions, so it was a bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, I would say most of the character meet and greets are indoors.
Well, I think it has to be at this time of year, especially.
Not always, because we did Mulan was outside, but there was no line.
Right. And I think she takes more breaks, but also she's, right, just, it's her dress. It's not much more costume than that.
Correct.
So we got in, we saw Mulan, we saw Mickey, we did the silhouette, and then we did the teacups, and then we walked back to the circus where there was a bit of wait for Minnie and Daisy, to which we talked through it, and she did very good. And then after that, she decided she didn't want to wait anymore to meet anybody. We tried to meet Ariel, but the wait was just too long. So we left and we went on Ariel's ride, and she did really good on that. And I was a little surprised because it gets dark in there, you know? And the ride even had a little hiccup, or I think, somebody needed some extra time getting off. And so we talked her through that.
Let's pause there for a moment because, yeah, no, I agree. I thanks for letting me interject here on this one. I think a big part of this, I think one of the things we should touch on is kids are going to have questions, especially, and I didn't necessarily know that she would understand, but one of her questions is, why is the ride stopping? Why aren't we going anywhere? Why are we sitting still? And a lot, like, if you don't know, they'll put safety before the show at Disney, meaning if you need assistance, if you're in a wheelchair or there's something that requires them to slow or stop that ride for you, they'll definitely do that for you. So that way you don't have, it's a non-issue getting on and off the ride. So we just kind of presented it to her that somebody needed extra time to get on and off the ride. And if you were in that position, you'd want us to give you that extra time. She's perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think she still asked a few more times. There was just some impatience, and I think that's just going to exist for 4-year-olds. She's very much, hey, what's next? I want to see something new, right? So sitting still is not her jam in the way that it is a little bit more for the 2-year-old, actually, which is interesting, right? You would think that would be reversed.
Let's also compare, because we had the 2-year-old on the teacups, and we had the 2-year-old on Ariel's ride in a previous trip. What was his experience like on those two rides compared to hers?
I think his was all about observation. He was just there to have, not even to have a good time. He was just there to see things. And so he didn't mind waiting in the rides, although I think we had to hold him more, or you had to hold him more. He didn't mind, walking back and forth or just sitting still, right? There was a period where we were waiting for food outside of, we were in Tomorrowland. I don't remember the cafe precisely.
I forget if it was like
Starlight or something.
Anti-Gravity.
Oh yeah, something like that. And we were waiting for our mobile order to be ready, and he was just content to kind of play with his bubbles while we sat outside.
Shout out to hating bubble wands.
You're the only one that hates them.
I'm gonna be honest here. I don't hate them for other people. I only hate them for us.
Yeah, you're a hater.
Yeah. If you have a kid and you have
The
bubble
kids are
wands,
delighted.
go bubble wand the heck out of anything. But I always feel bad. I just feel like, are my kids the problem? Are my kids over bubbling you?
No, I think all the other adult people are recognizing that you're trying to entertain a child for a brief amount of time. The same way that you don't get mad when other kids do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a general respect at Disney World that kids need some level of entertainment.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I can I can see not wanting to do it while we're waiting in line, right? Because then it smashes into people's faces. But when you're in an open outside area, it's kind of par for the course. That's how I see it, right? Like, I'm not begrudging another adult that for a child in their care.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that the little one was content to wait, and
he was content. Though to be fair, the long wait that we had for the aerial ride, he was asleep for. He woke up while we were on the ride, so he was dead to the world, and he didn't know. He was just mesmerized.
I was so glad to be sitting down with him at that time.
Yeah,
I will hold these children until my arm literally falls.
We've been
my
close
body.
a couple times.
Yeah, and he was definitely taking a 45-minute nap on my arm. And I didn't have a carrier.
No,
I was very hurt. I think I felt
that
like
was
I tore a
pre-carry.
tricep.
I think you probably
I was
bought
in
the
between
carrier.
carriers.
No,
Yeah.
like you had bought the carrier directly after that incident.
Well, because I was in between carriers that could support him.
Yeah. No, he had been through a growth spurt. He was, 3 months shy of his own birthday. And again, giant baby in height and a little bit in weight at that point. This was before his most recent growth spurt. He still had that baby chubbiness, And so, yeah,
Still
he
does
was
have it.
very little, though. He's thinned out quite a bit in the last few months. I don't know if you've noticed. I have. Although you're the one that was carrying him. And so I think for context for that one, he did have a meltdown, but it was because his parents had left to go do something with the 4-year-old for her birthday, like just to go off and do it was Bippity Boppity Boutique. And there were only X amount of adults that were allowed in that. So we, took them so that they could have that moment together for the big one's birthday. And he kind of had a meltdown, cried himself out, passed out on your shoulder. And so we got in line for Ariel. Number one, because it was under cover, like it was out of the sun.
It was. I think I was attracted to it because I knew there was water in the line that he likes. He
likes water stuff.
Just
yeah,
moving water.
And so he just happened to pass out as we were getting in line, I think, and he stayed asleep while we waited, and he woke up on the ride, and he was just mesmerized in a different way than I think she was. Like I think he was in awe, and I think she was entertained.
Yeah, he was like he did not expect to wake up under the water, under the sea. Yeah. So, okay. So we went through that. And then our objective was to try to get through the night. I think the wheels fell. Because then after that, we did a few more things with her. So we went over to It's a Small World. And then you talked her into the Haunted Mansion.
It was freaking amazing. I didn't see us get
for
through
context,
that.
she's a scaredy cat.
She's
So
a scaredy
you get her in
cat
the
of
dark.
heights, allegedly. Until she gets there, right? Because she did very well in the Skyliner a few months ago. She talked about it being her favorite afterward, but she melted down getting on it.
And she didn't melt down. She just got worried.
No,
and
she
panicky.
cried.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. She didn't like.
It was a short
she didn't
meltdown
Panic.
then.
It was.
No,
just,
she did panic.
Yeah, you had to have the conversations with her. So I had to like remind her, like, hey, I legitimately just leaned in and was like, hey, look at me. How many times have you deaded with me?
She doesn't know what that means.
No, but she knows. No, she knows. Like never. I've never let it happen to you. I'm not going to let it happen to you starting now. So let's go with it.
We talked about Haunted Mansion, and I said, it's a little bit of I said it gets dark, and I said, and there are ghosts, and then she said, I want to see ghosts, and I said, okay, and I said, and if you get scared, we're right there, and you can cover your eyes, and it's gonna, we'll get through it, and then if you don't like it, we don't go back. And so I did talk her into it. I really thought she was gonna freak out, and I think she got spooked a couple of times, especially when it got like pitch black, but I think they were brief times and there were no meltdowns. I was very stoked about that. Felt like a win to me. And now she has context, right? So if we try to do it again, she can say yes or no.
Yeah. And then after that ride, after the Haunted Mansion, the wheels started to fall off in line at Jungle Cruise.
Now to be fair to this, what is arguably a semi-spoiled 4-year-old when she's with her auntie and uncle, she had not been carried at all up until this point, all day.
I don't know if that's true. That's not true.
Did you walk with her at the resort? You picked her up?
Yep.
Was that it?
Check in at the resort. Yeah.
You walked to the room, and then that was it.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 20 minutes from noon until like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll agree.
So all day in her eyes. And so I think she said something to that effect. It was very dramatic and very cute. And she said, I've been walking all day. And she didn't say that it wasn't what she signed up for, but that was the gist. That was the premise of her mild tantrum. So you then did pick her up while we stood in this stupid line. It was like 35 or 40 minutes, which was the longest line we had stayed in up until that point. And I think that there's a difference to the body when you're carrying that kind of dead weight, when you're standing still and not moving much versus being on the move.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that wore you out very quickly because I've seen you go much longer with much less impact on your body. So I think it's because we were in line for that amount of time and that amount of weight.
Well, the heat was stifling.
Was rough.
And the line, we were in close quarters in line.
Right.
It just wasn't the most
conducive.
It wasn't the most pleasant
Right.
in the line experience that I've had.
It wouldn't have been any better anywhere else though, honestly.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm not
Yeah.
upset at that. And then getting off of that one, she was cooked. She didn't want.
She was, at that point she was like, can we go back to our Disney house?
Yeah.
And we were really trying to see if we could get her to the fireworks, but those weren't going to happen until what time? Like 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it's
And
not set to happen until later on that night.
And so we were close, but not that close. So I think we bargained on trying to find like a snack. Like at that point it was ice cream.
Yeah, we were looking for ice cream.
And to like revitalize her, and then maybe do some shopping to see how long we could push her without it being detrimental. But the heat had gotten to us all for sure at that point. I was sweating buckets.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was 100%. The heat was becoming a problem.
So we got into the silliest line for ice cream. And
You thought it was silly?
I thought it was a ridiculously long line. For
Okay. That's what I was like.
That's
It
what I
didn't
meant.
feel
Oh, sorry.
silly, like, ridiculously long for.
Yeah.
But like also at the same time, they were still debuting the new parade.
Yeah. So that was my next point, was
Like,
that we were trying to make it to that.
People were gathering.
Yeah.
For the parade. So that's what when you're gathering in that space and you're looking for something to do, and you know you've got an hour before the
Right.
parade rolls down, people were clogging up the ice cream line.
So by the time we had gotten into that line, it was probably close to like 8 o'clock, right? After we left Jungle Cruise, got through Jungle Cruise and walked over. And so, people were starting to stack for the is it the Star Night?
It's the new
Starlight
parade.
Which wasn't supposed to debut until the next night, but I guess they were running
Soft opening. They ran a soft opening the day before.
Which had not been announced, and so it was a delightful surprise. And we started to see people lining up, behind the tape for that, so we knew that we were going to get a crack at it if we could get her there, until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so we were close enough for that, and I didn't think that we could push her to the fireworks. So we asked her, and we were like, "We're going to get some ice cream. We'll sit down and eat it. Do you want to try and stay for a parade? It's going to be really bright and pretty, and lights and sparkles and whatnot." And she said, "Yeah, I want to see the parade." So we stuck it out, and we got her the ice cream, and I think that gave her just a tiny bit of a boost, and then we were able to make it to the parade.
And then it happened.
Oh.
So I had been, in order to make sure that she had the best possible view known to man, I put her on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Which we've done before, but not at Disney.
Yeah.
And not for this length of time.
And when she's on my shoulders, it's not uncommon for her to melt into the back of my head.
Yeah.
Which then becomes very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
So I kept trying to get her to sit up and, shift her weight around.
She was so tired.
So tired.
She was literally just melting from heat and exhaustion, although the sun was finally down at that point.
Yeah. So it was a good 20, 30 minutes with her on my shoulders at that time.
No, longer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I would say minimum 30 minutes, but possibly upwards of 40, because you put her on your shoulders before it started.
Yeah.
And I think it ran for a solid 25 minutes.
That's probably about right. So by the time it was done and we were going to go through the store on the way out, let her pick a toy.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't realize this.
We think.
I think this is her first time where her leg or a limb or anything had fallen asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't quite understand the feeling that
right.
was what was happening.
So you put her down, you lifted her up and you put her down. And then I think you got in front of her to clear a path into the store, because we were right outside of the door. And then you put her down, and I saw her freeze and her legs buckled, she was bow-legged, she had just gotten off a horse. And so I thought she was just trying to get her balance back right after being so high.
Her legs stop. When you don't use your legs for a while, your body stops sending blood flow.
Right.
She was like, my legs don't
And so
work.
she collapsed, actually, her legs folded up underneath her. It was very dramatic.
It was very funny.
And she, at that point, she lost it. She freaked out.
Because her legs stopped working. She's
and
only
she
known
fell too. That, was not a small thing. So she didn't understand what was happening. She freaked out. It must have been painful. I know that.
Let me interject here. If you're a parent who's listening, teach your kids about, because it would have never occurred to me. Run your kids through the idea that what it's like for a leg to fall asleep, an arm to fall asleep, and so that way when it happens to them at the park, they're not freaked out.
Yeah, it was such an interest. Yeah, it never would have occurred to me to prepare her emotionally for that. So I think she was in some pain or some discomfort, significant. And so I had to pick her up because she was she was like, a puddle and everybody was trying to leave after the parade.
And we ended up putting her back in the sling.
Yeah, we picked her back. Yeah, you picked her back up to kind of, reassure her. And she was trying to get some feeling back in that leg. And we were trying to find her a toy. She was very distracted emotionally, and she had settled on like a lollipop?
Yeah, okay, so how tired are you?
Request.
How tired are you that you can't even pick a toy?
Bro,
out
she had the whole. I was such a sucker at that point, and it happens every time that we get to that point of like mentally, emotionally being fried at the park, and we're just like, whatever you want, kid, just point.
Pick it out.
Just point.
You can have it. God, I wish I had me when I was a kid, because like there were times where I was like, I wish I had ice for this water, and my mom would be like, suffer.
Right.
Like,
meanwhile, we're all carting around like custom water bottles for each of us this whole day.
For her, she's got a custom water bottle for her.
Yeah.
She's living the life. At one point during the day,
life.
we cheersed open Mickey bars.
Mm-hmm.
Like
earlier
for
lunch,
like,
yeah.
I looked
Or
at
dinner.
her. I said, "You want to cheers?" She says, "Yeah." And we jammed our ice cream bars together and shouted cheers.
She's having a great time.
She's living a life. She's living a life, living the dream.
Well, and for context, right? So she's exhausted after the parade. We get the lollipop. She's being carried the whole time. You carry her all the way back to the bus stop. On the bus, you're standing the whole time, all the way back to the resort, right?
It should be noted that the other park goers were like, "Hey, sir, do you want to sit down?
Yeah.
We'll give you this." And I was at that point, I was like, I declined, but not because I was like trying to tough it out. I just knew that if I got down, I wasn't getting back up.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
was
like,
it was dual.
I'll stand. And she was asleep.
With her eyes open.
She was just super chill. The lights are off
she
on
was
the
fried.
bus.
And that's her. Like, she won't sleep. She won't nap unless it like last available option to her,
She'll
right?
snuggle the heck out
But
of you.
she will just exist and judge you with her eyes. So I think it probably took us 30 or 40 minutes to get back to the resort after the parade with the bus and everything and the walk. And so we get her back in the room and she's mostly fine. She takes a little bit of a break. I get her in the shower. We rinse off. I get her in her jammies. I take a shower. I settle down. And I think we joked with her maybe around 11:15 about going outside and going for a run.
Yes.
And she popped up so quick out of that bed. Yeah, let's go. I want to run.
Yeah, come on, Uncle Nani. Let's
Come
go
on, Uncle
play.
Nani. And we were joking. We thought she was fried. And no, she was ready for her fourth wind.
Yeah, she was ready to go. Overall, sleeping experience in the hotel with the kid at the resort. What were your thoughts there? Because
she did much better than I thought she would.
all we had was like what, 2 queens
We had 2 queens
in the hotel room. She
Yeah.
wanted to sleep with you. I slept in the other bed. It was just chill.
Yeah.
We didn't have like a suite or anything like that. Again, this was just supposed to be
Originally just us, right?
Yeah.
I did see like a Disney resort room hack after the fact.
Also, let's shout out to the cast member. What was her name?
Elizabeth.
Yeah. So Elizabeth at Port Orleans, when we checked in, we were just like we were declaring to them like, hey, yeah, we brought this extra person. We just want to make sure
4-year-old.
Yeah, we want to make sure she's added to our room. And we gave her like y'all have heard the penny story, right? If you're new to this, we take those pressed pennies and we turn them into charms and little trinkets, and then we hand them out to cast members at the parks. And when we checked in, we were just, hey, thanks for being so helpful. Here's this charm. We let the kid pick it out and give her the charm. And when we got back to the hotel, she had left a little card, a handwritten note thanking us for the treasure, and gave the kid some luggage tags. Absolutely. And it was delightful. Just a very kind gesture that she didn't have to do.
Nope.
And I thought it was a cute little keepsake treat for her.
Yeah.
So
it was a nice little surprise when we got to tie the tag to the kid's bag, because she had a little lounge fly, right, that she had brought on the trip. So yeah, that was a very, very nice gesture on behalf of the cast member Elizabeth. And we were pleasantly surprised, because honestly, she had done us a favor. Like, the room was ready at 1 o'clock when we got there.
Oh yeah, she definitely gave us early.
Yeah, like that was reward enough, for us. We love the Disney check-in process. Although I think this is the first time we've gone to the desk to check in.
Correct.
We normally do it electronically, but in adding the nugget to our trip, we wanted to do the right thing and go up and be like, hey, this extra human is going to be with us. What do you need from us? Like, do we owe you anything? And Elizabeth was fantastic in getting her added, and there thankfully was no extra charge, but we gladly would have paid it, for her to have that experience. And she was very quick and very kind and got us into a room, early in the day. which was not expected, but definitely appreciated. And so she
yeah.
took this extra step further. The note was delightful. It was very kind.
I put it on the fridge.
Yeah, I think the note was the best part for me, but having like the luggage tags for the kid was a nice little...
It was a delightful treat. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
For that. You made a difference. Yeah. So, I mean, overall, my sleeping experience was fantastic.
Yeah.
How was yours?
I think as a woman, I am a little bit more anxious about those in my care. And so we've had sleepovers with the 4-year-old before, but anytime that she's sleeping in the same room as us, I tend to be a little bit more anxious and more aware of this third person. And so because there wasn't like a bed rail and the beds are very high up, I was nervous for most of the night. And so I don't think I slept particularly well, but that has to do more with myself than the kid or the room.
Also, it should be noted that as soon as we got there, she was like, the floor is lava, and leapt from one bed to the other, but speared me right in the chest.
Yeah.
I thought she knocked herself unconscious and broke my collarbone at the same time. I said, where'd you learn that game? And she has this habit of of blaming others, but not like in like a negative way.
It's like a very cute way. My mommy did it.
Yeah.
My daddy did it.
If you gave her a gift, you did it.
You did it. Yeah.
Oh, where'd you get that hat? Uncle Nani did it.
Uncle Nani did it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Way to blame me.
Who did your hair this morning? My mommy did it. And so in that instance, that's correct, right? But if mommy bought her the dress, my mommy did it.
Yeah. Well, it's just like way to drop the dime on me. Can't be trusted around the fuzz. Anyway, yeah. So I get it, like wanting to be afraid, but she slept fine then, right?
She did. She slept like an angel. She didn't like wiggle around a whole bunch. We told her to, like try to keep the pillow so that you don't like roll over and fall off. And I think
we asked her, do you fall off the bed at home? And she's like, yeah, sometimes.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, ooh, your bed's a lot lower. But like, yeah, so she's like, yeah, sometimes. Like it was like very just matter of fact. Like it happens. Like, oh, did it again.
After the fact, I saw somebody post on one of the Disney threads about putting the ironing board that's in all of the rooms in between the two queen beds, and it just kind of acts like an additional barrier. It's very unlikely that she would have extension. It would have. I don't think she would have rolled off completely, but maybe if her arm or shoulder or a significant portion of her leg, like it would have caught that, and so.
Could you imagine?
The weight of her body wouldn't have rolled over further, I think.
If she just rolled across the gap to me, like, I'd be like, well, I would have been freaked out because I'm not expecting it.
Right.
Yeah, she was good. She was good. Next morning, we popped up and we pushed it a little too far. I think for me, we could go, but it was hot AF at those parks the next day, too. If I had it to do over again, I would definitely, that second day would have been a slow roll out of bed, grab some brekkie and head to the resort pool and then head home. Like maybe not even the resort pool, just like wake up, it's slow and go.
Can we also state for the record that I did suggest that?
You did. I don't know if I want to put it on record.
Okay.
But yeah, you were 100% correct with that. Like that was a move that we should have made. And
it was just too hot.
I was just so gung-ho to double park day.
It wouldn't have gone. Yeah, it wouldn't have gone any better at any other park. I don't think, unless it was a water park.
Yeah, we were just dragging the next day. And we're built to pick it. We do mold.
You and I are, yeah.
Yeah. It's
but she's just a baby.
And it takes its toll on you when you have to carry one of them around for a significant period of time, too.
Yeah. And I mean, she put up a really good front at the start of the day, which I think was part of the problem, right? Yeah. We felt like we were going to be able to get through this. And to be clear, we didn't have a long day expectation for the second day. We were just hoping to go see some stuff and do some stuff and maybe get that toy for her, right? We wanted her to have a big Disney experience and
to go slow. We wanted to go slow that day. We weren't trying, we weren't road dropping and we weren't staying all day.
Right.
We just wanted to kind of explore a little bit, and it was too hot. She was too tired. It was enough.
Yeah.
I think at one point she was very upset because I wasn't carrying her.
She just didn't know what she wanted, though, either.
Correct. And she kind of lost her cool a little bit, and she was just, it switched to the, I want my daddy. And
right.
I said, okay, let me take you right to him. And she was like, no, she didn't want to go home.
Pro tip.
She just wanted me to carry her.
Pro tip for a distraction, ices.
Oh, yeah, that did work out really well.
That worked out so well, although it backfired on the drive home. Her tiny little bladder. And we peed before we left the park, but that was a very large cup of icy, and she ate the majority of it.
So
pro tip, have the icy at the start of the adventure, not at the end of it.
When we were so close to home, and she was like, I gotta go pee potty. And I said to her, tell the pee potties to stay inside. And she said, oh, I don't want to stay inside. Like in a deep voice, like a very deep masculine voice.
It was a very
from the
Bluey moment.
Yeah, it's from the perspective of the Peabodys. Oh, I don't want to stay inside, Uncle Nonny. You know, so
That's hilarious.
yeah, but we have that relationship with her. Like we have the very Bluey bingo relationship. You know, like oh, the floor is lava, and I'm yeah, oh no, here it comes, and it's like okay, yeah, that's how we play off each other, which is cool vibes. I like that. All right, so with the big kid way thing out of the way, let me ask you a question: would you rather take a 2-year-old, or would you rather take a 4-year-old?
I still feel like that answer is up in the air for me because I think they both do well for single park days. I think when you start to get into that sleepover / second day mind frame, then we don't have that experience with the little one. And so that's a harder answer.
So, okay, follow-up question. If we're booking an overnight with the kids again, are you booking an all-star resort?
I would be booking an all-star resort or like AOA or Pop.
So what's the one with the movie? Is it All-Star Movies
All-Star
with the
Movie.
giant statues? I think that's the one.
Oh, statues. So I think that's going to, I don't know if that was movies. What's next to it? It's All-Star Sports, All-Star Movies, and something else. Music?
No, the yeah, but I think All-Star, is it All Stars or All-Star?
All-Star. So it must be All-Star Movies because sports is sports and music, it was not the statues. So I think it was
All-Star Movies. has the statues. I think like
and we didn't stay at that one.
No, correct. I think I think I'd rather just stay there with the kid next time because I think dragging them through that and All-Star Movies is right across the way from All-Star Music. And so it's walkable. So if you stay on one end of All-Stars Music and you just want to go see the statues, you can easily just kind of skip across the way and go walk that campus. I think I would like to stay at the All-Star Movies campus with the kids because, man, there's nothing like seeing a 30-foot statue of Buzz Lightyear.
Nothing like it?
No. Nothing like it. It's awe-inspiring. I think when I was a kid, if I was going to see, if you took me to that, just seeing the statue would have been like, what?
You're so funny. Yeah, I think because they were running such heavy promotions for the summer. There was like a Disney Plus promotion. There was, the AP promotions for the resorts. And I thought I saw AOA or Pop come up with a not terrible price that I would have paid, but we were just very, whatever at that point. We didn't know.
Yeah. All right. Also, if you don't have, I get the PhotoPass because that's one of the things I definitely overuse or try to abuse with, not in a bad way. I like to get my money's worth out of the PhotoPass with the kids, especially because somebody's going to take pictures of the kid with the characters and it's just use it. So I try to use it as much as possible when we're there.
I think that's a fantastic
perk of being. It's definitely
investment. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of
investment.
the word.
Yes, but it's also a perk of being a Florida resident annual pass holder. So you're a Florida resident annual pass holder, you get that add-on for $100. You also get it if you're just like if you get the Incredipass. Can you add it on for $100?
Oh, I don't know.
But I think when I told somebody, it's like, yeah, it's $100. It's a $100 add-on. They were like, huh, per day? And I was like, no, for the year. They were like,
yeah.
Dang.
I think that's definitely, again, for the kids, I think that's a solid investment.
Maybe
you and
even for
I,
us.
well, I mean, we have a friend group, right, that invests for that at a different park.
Mhm.
And I think we use
At
that.
Universal, we can say it. They're not here.
Oh, well, you get testy when I say it too much.
Nah, I'm just teasing.
So they have it for Universal, and I think that's great, for the pictures when we're on the rides all together. But
And if they didn't have it, I would get it.
really? Like
Yeah.
now, you mean? Because it wasn't something you were interested
that's
in
right.
before.
My pass renews with them soon. I think we should get it there too.
That's an interesting perspective because we don't really do character meet and greets there, and we don't ride a ton of rides anymore.
Yeah, but I think
I'm not opposed. I just think it's an interesting perspective. But I do think that when you're dank-ish and going with kids, even just a few times a year, it is a solid investment because there is nothing freaking cuter than her with Mulan last time. In the way that she posed, my ovaries melted. Like legitimately melted. And it was just great to have that as well so that, we could share it with her parents.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it was
I
just
agree.
a super special moment. So yeah, I think that is a great pro tip for, those who are dank-ish or those who are just straight up parents. God bless you because I couldn't do it. But I would do it if I had to do it, particularly for these kids. But I do think that that was an amazing investment. I didn't see the vision at the start of it, but I see it now. So good job, best friend.
I try. Thank you, best friend.
You get all the credit for that one.
I appreciate it. All right. With all that said, is there anything you would add before we wrap this up for, just being dankish, things you would take? What's your number one takeaway for
I
this?
think the number one takeaway was that kid sling, like for picking them up. It's something that you predominantly wear and utilize, but I do think that that's been a lifesaver.
Okay. I appreciate that. I did have to mod it out, so I would say, like, hey, if you
pay attention to the dimensions and the weight limits for sure.
Correct. Yeah. If you're looking for one to do, if your kid is of a specific size, excuse me, if your child is of a
giant size,
yeah, then
ours are giant babies.
You're gonna struggle. And if you're tall too, and you have a broad shoulder or broad shoulders, it's challenging to get that thing in. So you may have to mod it out if you're not,
yeah,
like I did.
Don't give up on it.
Yeah, this is definitely, if I can do it, you can do it. My takeaway from this is going to be, don't schedule back-to-backs
with the tiny ones. Yeah,
just schedule one day on, one day off. So like, even if you're there for multiple days, like 3 or 4 days, build in your rest days. Like,
I love that you learned that. I was worried.
You were worried that I was just going to press on through and not give a dang.
I was worried that no. So I figured you would press on through. That wasn't my concern. My concern is that you wouldn't learn from it. It was very important to me that we listen to the needs of the child. Mm-hmm. Not every child is the same. And as you stated, pretty early on and repeated again throughout this cast, is that we're built for this. We've trained ourselves for this. And so I'll be disgustingly hot and grumbly, but I'll get through the day with as little impact as possible, negative to the party that we're with, right? Mm-hmm. I've trained myself for that. And I have better days than others sometimes, but they're just kids. And ours, we're biased, right? But ours is particularly smart and pretty good about telling us what she wants. And even she had, real difficulty on day 2 being able to because she didn't know what she wanted.
Yeah.
We went inside, we were back in Rafiki's planet at Animal Kingdom. And so we were inside, there was AC, we were cooling off, and there was a ton to see. And she was just flipping through it like it was a book. Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what else?
Yeah, she was done.
There was no making her happy because she didn't even know what she wanted. And that's not her fault. That's ours.
So what's your tip here?
My tip here is, to your point, don't force the little ones to do what's best for you as the adult, but listen to them.
Yeah, listen to their little bodies as they shut down. All right. On that note, we've got, like we mentioned at the start, we've got our counterparts are off for the next few episodes. What do we have on tap during their hiatus?
Oh, we're going completely rogue, and I'm so stoked for this, and not because I don't love Disney.
You're stoked for them to be gone?
No, that's not what I said.
What is happening?
I'm stoked to be able to talk about the other parks.
More. We know you talk about.
We do talk about the other parks.
So I think our next 2 episodes are going to be focused on the bane of my existence, my arch nemesis. What is it called?
Your arch nemesis? Okay. So up next, is that what we're talking about? Can
you can tell them. Yeah, pop this puppy open. What's next?
If we're following the plan that we said a month ago, our next episode specifically will be about Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando. So I think in this one we talked about discussing reservations, tickets, and packages, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And then the following episode is again Halloween Horror Nights, but about houses, scare zones, food, and merch. I'm hoping that we'll have more detail by then because we have some, but not all of it.
Yeah, correct. And then after that, what's the 4th episode before they return?
The 4th episode before they return, we're planning to talk about annual Passholder Night at Universal Orlando. So
if you're
more
going,
dank-ish stuff, right?
Yeah. If you're out and about and headed to Universal for the Passholder Night, you may see us. You may bump into us.
You're definitely going to see us if you're there Saturday night.
Ashley's the pretty one. I'm the pretty ugly one. But
are we bounding?
We could. What do you want to bound as?
I don't know. I don't have a plan, but I thought you mentioned something.
We should. Let's give it some thought. Let's bound as something. I don't know what to bound as. We'll figure it out. I don't want to be a minion. I'll tell you that much.
We love what each park offers individually for annual pass holders, but I think we've discussed in the past that Universal has a slight leg up on annual pass holder incentives.
We won't dig into that right now, though.
No, we're going to dig into it on that last
in that
episode.
Anyway, so y'all have about a week before you'll see us at the park for annual Passholder night. And if you're going, give us a shout, tag us, and we're happy to chat about our experience.
August 16th. We'll be there Saturday the 16th.
Mm-hmm. Should be about a week or like 8 days from now. Mm-hmm. All right. Any final thoughts, Ash?
Mobile food ordering. Be more prepared for that. I think that would have helped us on this DANK-ish trip. Both times.
Sounds good. All right. Shout out to Natalie in January, wherever you are.
Miss you.
We hope you're having a good time. We look forward to having you back. Everybody, stay dank.
Stay dank.
Peace. We out.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DANK Pod. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share wherever you listen. Send your feedback and questions to us at thedankpod@gmail.com. Join us next week when we chat about planning for Halloween Horror Nights. Until next time, stay dank.